Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Find Your Why Foundation Wise Words of the Day, where we answer questions, why questions that have been submitted from either the Find Your Why ladies group, which is the Live, Love, Laugh Lounge, or the Find Your Why men group, which is the Man Cave. Good evening and welcome from myself, Dr. Cheryl Chapman, and also from...
From me, very quickly. From me, Dr. Marion Bevington. Obviously, very, very serious subject today.
Yes. Now, before we go any further, we are not doctors of medical degree, so we won't be asking you to change your prescription or give you any pills, just so you know. Let's see who's arrived. Hello, Teresa. Hello, crew. Barley McGrew, Little Grob. If you don't know that, you're not old enough. Never mind, you will be soon. And from lovely Jill Barham. Oh, that's another little sneaky peek there.
What is the
question? Yes. So what is the question this evening that we're going to be answering? The question is, why do I keep putting off dieting when I want to lose some weight? So first of all, I have to show you this. That's what I've just eaten. And I need to lose weight. So guess what? I'm in the crew with you. And Jill's additional question is, apart from why do I keep putting off dieting when I want to lose some weight, and why do we self-sabotage? So we may get onto the self-sabotage bit, maybe part of this anyway, but if not, of course, we could have that as another wise question, couldn't we, Marion?
Yeah.
So why is it that, and I know we're talking about weight here, but of course it could be anything, couldn't it? Why do I keep putting off, studying? And we did procrastination yesterday. Why do I procrastinate? There's a little bit of a crossover, but let's try and look at specifically around why the dieting might be an issue. So what have you got? What's your thoughts, Mazzy B, on this one? Well, I just...
You just... I've got a man in the bed next to me. Not really. A wish. Anyway. So I think that dieting to manage your weight is the wrong way to do it, personally. I've never been on a diet, and I could do with one at the moment. But actually, it's not about having a diet, it's about the lifestyle that you've got. And so if you want, your weight will always be an indicator of your lifestyle, full stop. Always, always, always. That's what it will always do. Will indicate your lifestyle. So if you are wanting to lose weight, then you need to eat differently, and you need to exercise or move the body more, and you need to do some emotional clearing, because it's the lifestyle isn't just the material stuff of the food and then the exercise. It's a combination of all of your psychological baggage, all of your emotional baggage, and all of that stuff as well. And so sorting your lifestyle out needs to be on all levels. So you've got the physical body with the exercise and the food. You've got the emotional body. And you often hear about people emotionally eating. I think we all do. I think we all emotionally eat. And then there's a spiritual aspect to it as well, which... I find it difficult to talk about spirituality because for me, it always makes me think of either God or church or like religious stuff that I'm not into at all. But I do know that I actually have a very, I have a lot of spiritual practices that I do, but they're not holy and they're not related to religion in any way. So I think, if you're addressing your size, your physical size, you do need to look at all aspects of what's going on. That's my short answer.
So that's it. We're off now. Thank you. I need to go in.
All right then. Bye. When I was talking just then about about your lifestyle indicates your weight, then the other thing to take into consideration is things. So, for example, I've got my weight isn't always a complete reflection of the lifestyle that I've got, because I've got a thyroid disorder, and so when my thyroid levels are high, I can eat and eat and eat and eat and eat and eat, and I lose weight. When my thyroid levels are low, then I don't eat and I still put weight on. Like literally don't have to eat and can somehow my body can actually find a way of putting weight on. So when you've got something that's that out of balance in your body, especially with the endocrine, with the hormonal system, then that usually, to me, has got this underlying cause of an emotional or trauma or some kind of baggage that is impacting that. And I know for me that's definitely true. My understanding of all disease is that it's got trauma and emotional content behind it anyway. So that's why I think it's really important to look after emotions as well as the exercise and the food.
I've just put up a question. Have you ever struggled to reduce your weight or your size? And Beatrice has joined us, and Mildred and Jill and Teresa. And if you're watching this either live or as a recording, then please join me. I think most of the women that I know have had this sort of issue at some stage. I know that Jill Barham, who's on the call now, helped me with my ballooning, shall we say, last year. And yes, of course, there are some vitamins and some minerals, and we're not about to talk about that because that's not our bag, baby. But of course, Jill knows about that. So please feel free to contact Jill. What we're talking about specifically here is when you're struggling to perhaps get on a diet, and as Maz says, she doesn't really agree with diets. I've undergone some teaching in the last year, as you know, when I qualified as an RTT therapist. So I want to give a big up for this book, which is You Can Be Thin, The Ultimate Programming to End Dieting Forever. And it's by the amazing Melissa here. And what Marion's just been talking about there is, obviously there are reasons why you eat. These are emotional reasons, habits, lots of reasons. And this book's a really good way of finding out what you do. I mean, I already knew I was an emotional eater because the reason why I don't necessarily, I've been on the diets. I've done the Weight Watchers. I've done the Atkins diet, the Slimming World, the green juice. I've done, you name it. I've probably done it. Atkins with the bad breath, everything, not being able to go to, anyway, too much information, I know. But I've always ended up putting the weight back on. Well, you could say, well, that's because the minute you stop a diet and you start eating, like normally or how you used to do before, then you're going to put the weight on. And I know that Jill, will always say it's a lifestyle change, which is what Marion's saying here. But of course, there's not just the food going in, because, in the last 3 years it's coming up to, since I gave up drinking, I've put on weight. Well, you would think that maybe I wouldn't have as much weight because, I used to drink a lot of lager. It wasn't always the spirit stuff. Lots of sugar in lager. And I was still eating chocolate and stuff like that. But what's happened to me in the last few years, of course, is I've undergone a big emotional change, in terms of, realising that I've been asleep for most of my bloody life. And also a change in where I am now. So separation from my husband, which has potentially triggered separation, anxiety from being separated from my mum and dad when I was little. My dad was in the army. So I think one Christmas, I remember being about 5 years old, and I was in Fleetwood with my relatives. My mother was in Germany and my father was in Ireland, I think it was. I actually got on the phone in the pub and I was like, "Hiya, Dad, yeah, Father Christmas is coming, yeah. Dad, what do you look like?" And my dad said that was the reason why he came out of the army, because I couldn't remember what he looked like. So, there's all this kind of separation stuff that's massive in my past, I know that. And also my parents used to work, when we got back to the UK, worked at Roundtree's, or Nestle as it's known now. And if they weren't there, the Kit Kats were there. So I've got this connection between, when I'm on my own, I can treat myself. So do you eat because you think you've been a good girl? Do you eat when you feel sad? I mean, basically, I eat when I'm happy, sad, miserable, busy, not busy, bored, you name it, anything. And so one of the things that is really interesting and absolutely key is to clear out, as Maz said, any of those emotional blocks, because you've got to become aware of why you're doing what you're doing. So when you're saying, why am I struggling to reduce my weight? Or why am I struggling to go on a diet and lose weight? There's one key straight away. If you do nothing other than change this word will help you. Don't say when I lose weight. Because if you think about the connotations with loss, think about anything else that you might lose, your keys, your marbles, your friends, your partner, your marbles, your relative, when someone dies, it's not a good feeling. So if you're talking about losing weight, guess what? When you lose something, you want to find it again. So change that word to reduce, shed, I'm becoming smaller, just something that's more positive rather than the word loss, because it's all tied up in this emotional mixture of, the reasons why you do it, none of which is logical. That's why, of course, it doesn't make sense when you say, well, I want to lose weight, but I just can't seem to do it. Why is that? It's not logical. Well, no, it isn't, because it's all bloody based on emotion, isn't it, Maz?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it's really difficult now because there's so much what we call tasty food, fast food available. So as an animal, we love sugar, but in a normal animal diet, you would only eat sugar while you were eating fruit. So you're taking in a load of fibre at the same time. So even though it might be a high content of sugar, you've got all that fibre for the body to work on as well. And fat, body absolutely loves fat. But we've got a diet now that is so easy to get hold of, food that is absolutely processed to the point at which when you put it in the body doesn't even really know what it is. So you're kind of really stressing your body out. It can't deal with it. And one of the things that's easy to do is pack it away. We can get a bit of fat out of this. Let's whack it in a fat cell. And while we're using so many processed foods, this not only is this confusing the body, but it's also toxifying the body. And again, the body, it's like when there's a lot of toxins, the body can store other things to it's like it's trying to create a prevention from the toxins getting out. So, and then the other part of that as well is the addiction that happens. So we get so used to sugar, we're actually addicted to sugar. Sugar is more addictive than any substance on the planet. It's more addictive than heroin. It's more addictive than cocaine. It is the most addictive substance when it is processed, when it's white, which is what we're used to seeing. I actually don't allow white sugar. I love sugar, but I won't let white sugar in the house. I buy the blackest, darkest, dankest sugar you can buy because it's got a few minerals in it. Because that's the other thing. If we don't have minerals and if we don't have different essential like compounds and even sometimes different types of metal, if we don't have them in our diet, the body can't even digest the food that we put in it anyway. And so again, it's going to pack stuff away because it doesn't know what to do with it. It can't digest it. There are so many reasons why being careful about your diet, being mindful about what you eat, and doing as much natural food as possible. They're just, it's really, really important. And also things like, because we can get food, we get food. I got some, what did I get the other day? And it was from Peru. It's like some kind of veg. I can't remember what it was, but it was from Peru. And I'm like, my body has got no connection currently with Peru. I'd quite like to be there, but if I was there, it'd be okay to eat Peruvian food. But me eating food that's grown like thousands of miles away in a totally different climate as well. Like my body's here in England. It's been a bit warm this week, but last week or the week before when it was a bit chilly, I'm eating food that's come from Peru. Again, this whole confusion about what stuff is, where it's from, this natural body that lives at the moment in London in this temperate climate. That's what it's involved in. It's involved in this temperate climate. So keeping the body in balance, you need to think about what your environment is as well, what seasons it is, so there are so many things that will throw us out of whack. And that's when weight becomes a problem, either too much or too little. Because when we're out of whack, the body just can't help.
Yeah. I mean, I think, we're not nutritionists, so I don't think there's any point.
No.
I know, but there's no point in pretending that we are. That's not really kind of where we go. But I just want to point out something. I don't know if you can see it. I'm coming in close. See this? Old sweaty Betty, right? I've started to notice that when I have a hot cup of tea and I have sugar, which I shoved one of these in my gob before I came on, that this is what's happening to me. And it's like I'm having a hot sweat, but I know it's not a hot sweat because I know the difference between the two. So for me, it's about becoming aware of when you eat certain foods, like my body has arthritis. I don't own it. It is the body, it's not mine. And since I gave up eating bread, because that was one of my, I love bread, toast, like eating loads and loads of bread, it's gone. So I know there's definitely a connection between that. So I don't care what anybody said in terms of a doctor or a nutrition or whatever. I know my body, I can recognize what's going on in my body, can't I? So I know that bread isn't a good idea. So the question, what is it that stopped me drinking alcohol? What is it that helped me to stop eating ice cream? So I've not drunk alcohol for nearly 3 years. I've not drunk ice cream. I've not eaten ice cream for nearly 10 months. And I went from, alcoholism pretty much, drinking every night, excessively, not knowing when to stop, to then eating 4 magnums a day. to then eating loads of bread and then stopping eating the bread. So what is it? Well, basically, Marion seems to have gone, so I'm sure she'll come back in a minute. So basically, what you need to do is you need to change the picture. So with the alcohol, are you back, Maz? We lost you for a minute. So one of the things that you can do is to change the picture. So I want you to imagine this. This is in this book. If you have a read of this book, it's a great book. Imagine that you are absolutely Hank Marvin starving. You're sitting in a restaurant. You've ordered your favourite food. You're like, oh, my God, I'm starving. Well, first of all, think about what you're saying to yourself. I'm starving. You're not starving. You know, if you're in Africa and you haven't eaten for 4 weeks, you might be starving. But you are not starving if you are sitting in a restaurant in the UK, guaranteed. Right? So, I'm starving. So voices in your head are saying, oh, quick, let's eat everything. Let's eat it quick. And as the waiter brings your favourite dish towards you, he sneezes on it and a big green bogey goes all over the food. Now, correct me if you're wrong, but you're suddenly not so hungry. Would that be fair enough to say? Because you've changed the picture in your mind. So with the bread, I'm going to show you what I did with the bread, because Maz knows I love bread. White bread rolls, you know what I mean? All the wrong thing. So I collected this box. I don't know if you can see here. And in this box are items that I put in at the 1st of January, or the first week in January, actually. And this is a bread roll that I would have eaten lots of. I'll just show you this. And I don't know if you can see, but it's still got the little, what's it called, the dusting on it. Yeah. And it looks, I'm sure you'd agree, for all intents and purposes, exactly the same as the day that I got it out of the box, right? Except, just find this piece of equipment here. It's hard as nails, right? Can't eat that. It's hard as nails. But it looks the same. And the reason why it looks the same is because it's full of shite, full of chemicals to make it long life. Same with the lovely muffin. I used to have at least 3 or 4 of these every other day.
And is there no mould or anything on any of those?
No mould whatsoever. In fact, I'll even show you this, because I just put in a few random things that were out at the time. So there is a mince pie that's lost its top. But can you see there? You cannot, there's no mould on it. No mould, no bacteria has come anywhere near this. It's only been in this box. It's not like been, sealed down. So it's got air in it. Same with the scone. Notice how these are all beige looking things as well. And even Marion's lovely sugar addition to the cake that we had at the meal. None of these things have gone off, which means there's no bacteria eating it. There's no mould. It looks exactly the same. Even a piece of dark chocolate, which I believe dark chocolate is supposed to be okay. It's got a bit of flour dusting on it. That's all that is. But the actual chocolate itself is not bad. So what does it mean? Well, it means that bacteria that would eat shit won't touch this. And yet we'll put it in our body. So all of a sudden, I'm not so keen on bread anymore. Does that make sense? Because I start to think, if this won't decompose in a box, what's it doing in my body? Yes. Of course, it'll break down. I've got saliva and all the rest of it. But just the fundamental thing, the fact that looks the same. There was a story about a guy who went to McDonald's. It was in, I can't remember what state it was in America, and it's one of those states where the weather changes. And he bought a McDonald's, whatever it was, burger or Burger King, can't remember which one. Anyway, sorry, don't want to slag any particular brand off, otherwise might come trying to sue me. But he went to a local burger bar, got a burger, and it was a buy one get one free. Put one in his pocket, ate the other one, got back home that night, hung his coat up, and the day after the weather had changed. And he never put his coat back on for like 12 months. And when he went back to his coat, the burger was in the wrapper and it looked exactly the same as when he'd first bought it. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. You've got an interesting fact about dead bodies, haven't you, Marion?
I have a very interesting fact about dead bodies. I don't even know where this story comes from, but basically, when the dead bodies start to decompose, they give them 30 years, 60 years, something like that, and then they'll turn the ground over, and so they can bury in the same ground again. And what started happening, I think it was in the 70s or the 80s, it started happening, and it's just got worse and worse. Bodies aren't decomposing, so now they don't even really need to. What do they do to dead bodies? They put formaldehyde in. Embalming, that's the word. They don't even really need to embalm bodies anymore because they do not decompose. They're just like preserved. And the reason that the report that I was reading when I read it was a while ago now, but the report said the reason that this was happening was because our bodies are being preserved by the quantity of preservatives that we put into them. And also, sugar is a preservative. Jam, which is made from sugar, is a way of keeping fruit for years. You can keep fruit; it won't go mouldy if it's got sugar all over it. So we already know that sugar is a preservative. But then you think about all the stabilizers, all the chemicals that they put into food, so it doesn't go off, so it does last longer, so it's got a longer shelf life, so it looks nice and shiny inside of plastic wrapper. All that stuff. And so much of it isn't even tested. This is the other thing that's really scary, is that there's a lot of stuff that's in our diet that they've never actually tested. And it's not natural. It's not natural food substances. They put all sorts of stuff in there that they don't test. Like monosodium glutamate, which has been in the Chinese diet for a long, long time. But glutamate is known to be, the monosodium glutamate is now known to be really, really damaging. And if they had to do the tests on it, like they would do on, I don't know what they would do, when they test things and then make sure that they're okay for people, and they spend years and years testing them, say it's not ready yet, it's not ready yet. If they did that to monosodium glutamate, they'd remove it from our diet immediately because it's toxic. It's really quite toxic. So yeah, it's very, very scary what we do to our bodies, and we're not doing it intentionally. This is the other thing. This is the thing that I think sometimes when I talk about stuff like this, it can seem like I'm really having a go at people for being so stupid, but we're not stupid. We've actually been told by people who we see in authority that what we're doing is okay, but it's not okay. And there are a lot of people who are not in the authority, but they're doing, scientific work and research, and they can tell you hands down so much of what we're told is normal and okay by the authority. It's not. And the reason that the authority do it is because it's profit. It's making profit. And so stuff that makes a lot of profit, they ain't going to get it. They're not going to take it away from us. So I think really, really improving your awareness, increasing your awareness of what you eat, how you eat, what has gone into your food. Do you read labels? There's so many ways that we can find out about what's going on, and just to believe what we're told, and just to believe these authorities that they're looking out for us. They're not. They're looking out for their bank accounts. They're not looking out for us. And I think this is important, isn't it?
Keep supermarkets going without keeping profits up. We've got Matthew Nichols joining us. Welcome, Matthew, and Rebecca. Hi, Rebecca. Now, Rebecca's in the fitness industry, and the fact that she follows naked men around. What an amazing job. And naked women around the world taking amazing photographs. So welcome, Rebecca. Teresa is, we've got lovely Lisa King. Hello, Lisa. Lisa as well. So Lisa, please feel free to join in. And I know that Rebecca herself is, into bodybuilding and weightlifting and keeping in shape. Anything you've got, guys, just share it with us. Teresa's saying, despite all the preservatives, the use-by date is early compared to years ago. Yeah, it is, but is that, I don't know. I was going to say, if you want to get into the conspiracy theory, look to my learned friend on this side. I'm really looking at, for me, this isn't really about, we're just giving you a bit of information that we found out. We're just sharing that. But for me, the question is, why can you not go on a diet when you want to lose weight? And I'm using the words that were sent in the question, lose weight. So Rebecca's saying she doesn't do that all the time, LOL. But Teresa's right, to make us throw it away and buy more. Absolutely.
It's all about money.
Yeah. Lisa's saying it's the same with the dairy industry. Yeah, I someone said to me, I think it was Marissa Peer again, actually, who said, look, milk is designed to make baby calves become 10 times bigger within a year. What the fuck are we doing eating dairy? I don't know. If that's the case, it's not designed for humans. Is it cows have 4 stomachs, is it? We have 1, although sometimes I feel like I've got 4. But that's kind of, there's all this stuff going off, like we don't really.
Isn't it really? It's really weird as well, isn't it? The psychology of us humans, because we'll drink the milk from a cow or a goat or a sheep. There's all sorts of milk that we'll drink, but we don't drink human milk. And there was actually a human milk ice cream parlor opened in Covent Garden a couple of years ago, and it went out of business very, very quickly. So, you know, we'll drink milk from all of these other species, but we don't think that our own milk is palatable. It's absolutely crazy.
Well, yeah, but then me and you disagree on that one, because I wouldn't go to an ice cream parlour anyway these days, because actually that's the reason why I don't drink ice cream, because it reminds me of my mother. But that's just me changing the picture in my mind. So listen, let's look at the question. Why do I keep putting off dieting when I want to lose some weight? So what we're saying here is that we really, you know, it's not about dieting. Let's say you want to drop a dress size. Let's say you're okay with your weight. Do you know what I mean? But you just want to drop a dress size or something. Then I suppose that might be, you know, for an occasion. But why would you do that? Just go as you are. You'll be good enough anyway. But if you want to lose a little bit of weight, want to drop that dress size, I'm using the words in the question here, then why is it you can't do it? Well, it's because you're procrastinating, which is what we talked about yesterday, for some reason. So what could those reasons be, Maz? Always emotional, but what are the reasons why they might be procrastinating?
Always fear. There's always a fear in procrastination. So we talked about it yesterday. So fear of failing, fear of succeeding, fear of people not liking you, fear of being rejected or isolated. And it's all about us not... the whole thing is about not wanting things to change or being frightened of change, because we can't guarantee the outcome, or we can't predict the outcome, or we can't even imagine what the outcome might be. And it's so you kind of, you know, you've lost your sense of your identity, you've lost your sense of connection, because you can't actually calculate what that might look like in the future. And that scares us more than being really, really, really scared here now.
Look, we're designed for pain and pleasure. We're not designed for pain and pleasure, but these are the two reasons why we make a difference why we do make a change, you know, even if we hate the change. So the pain has got to be so strong, or the gain has got to be so amazing. But ultimately, most humans will not move unless the pain is up a gear. Do you know what I mean? Because you can say to yourself, oh, well, if I lose weight, I'm going to look better and I'll feel better and I'll be more healthy. You know, you can say all of these things to yourself, but actually, how much do you want to reduce your size? Because, you know, look, I'm the heaviest I've ever been. I can't lie. Well, I mean, I can lie, but I'm not gonna. I'm the heaviest I've been ever in my life. You know, I did really well when I was working with Jill before, to drop those sizes. However, left to my own devices, I don't, because I'm going through an ever-evolving change in me, you know, whether or not that's the change, but I mean, I don't want to blame that, but that could be part of it. But this separation between me and my husband, between, you know, me and, I work pretty much on my own unless I'm with my clients, which is great, but there's still an element of separation in there. And that emotional separation, there's still a 5-year-old inside Cheryl that is like, oh, I'm on my own, you know, oh, let's have an ice cream to reward ourselves. Oh, let's have a full packet of biscuits. I'm an all or nothing girl. That's why I can't drink, because the first drink gets me drunk. Not physically, but I can't stop after the first one. So it's the same with hobnobs or Kit Kats or anything. And I'm in the house at the minute where I'm very blessed to be sharing it with a lovely family. And they have all of these things that I would never have in a house. Because I would never have them, because the temptation's too much. So I still got to do a bit of work on me. Does that make sense? Because I got to get this mind changing. Because you're right, Maz. The mind loves what's familiar. It will always go back to what it knows, because it knows that you're still alive and it's been doing its thing for however long. So in order to change the mind, one, you've got to take something away, because you've got to change something, and you've got to replace something different. So you've got to put something else in its place. So, for example, I drink a hell of a lot more water than I ever used to do, even if it is out of a Carling Black Label glass. I drink a lot more water. I'll eat more greens. Just what I mean? And interestingly enough, Lisa's saying, you know, we can get absolutely everything we need, our calcium, from greens and food. We don't even need to have the milk. Although Rebecca's saying, oh, yes, breast milk. I quite like that. I think that's what she's saying.
Breast milk,
yeah, everybody's got a choice, haven't they?
So just remember, it's the same story as me.
Yeah. So the thing is, it's about what is stopping you. And at this stage, it will be different for all of us. There'll be a different reason. I've shared some of mine. I am ready to reduce my weight down. I'm ready to reduce my my dress sizes, etc. But I know that I could say, okay, tomorrow, that's it. I'm not eating any of these foods and I'm off, right? And willpower might kick in, and I might do it for 6 weeks or 8 weeks. Even better if I've got something to do it for, like fitting in a wedding dress. Don't panic. It's not wedding number 5. But if I've got an end in mind, I'm going on holiday, bikini body, whatever that might be. That mindset and that motivation and that willpower may well keep me going for 6 weeks, 8 weeks. But after that, it's going to start waning. I don't know if Lisa or Jill, or Rebecca, or anybody who's been in this situation says, oh yeah, I know exactly what that's like. So it's got to be a more permanent change, which means the picture has to change. I've got to change my association with what it is that is keeping me at a certain weight. And also I have to do some work on me. Hello, Mazzy B. I'll be saying, hello, can you just work on this? Marion's done some kinesiology on me in the past. She's done some BWRT, which helped me to get off the ice cream, like it's a drug. But I mean, it is. If you're eating something ridiculous like 4 to 6 fucking magnums a day, it's a fucking addiction. Does that make sense?
Absolutely addiction.
So, it's something has to be done psychologically as well as physically. And one of the big things that I know that I'm very aware of is I hardly freaking move. And now I don't have a dog, so I'm not walking him on a daily basis, or should I say dragging him around the park. I've got to add things in. So the first thing I would do is I would highly recommend that don't look at why can't I do this. Change the question of how can I do this? Yeah. What can I do to take me one step forward? Do you need to walk more? Do you need a buddy? Shall we set up a group, where we're all, warts and all, I'll get on there and go, look, this is me standing on the scales today. Won't be naked, because otherwise that might not get too many viewers on that one. Wait till I'm 9 stone 3. No, I nearly said, and then I'll get my kit off, but I'm not.
Oh my
I'm not
God.
doing that.
Imagine where your tits would be by then. You'd be tucking them in your nipples.
I've got to tell you this because I had this amazing idea. See, this is where the logical mind comes in. Who's watching? Let me just see who's watching. Let's just have a see there. Oh, hello, Claire Bear. Claire Bear's there. Hello, Claire. Rebecca's still with us. Matthew, forgive me. I don't know you very well, but you're about to find out too much information. Right. So I made this decision. If I had my breasts reduced, bust reduction, I'd lose weight. Now, my friend Andrea, who's actually in the house downstairs with her boys and her husband at the minute, she said to me, "This is when you know. This is when you know you've got a really good friend." Right? She went, "Oh, I had a friend like that once, Cheryl, and when she had her breasts reduced, she said, unfortunately, her belly looked really big." and I thought, she's actually giving me a bit of advice there, isn't she? Anyway, I went to see the boob man. He didn't introduce himself, wanted to, lift him up, weigh him, whatever. I wasn't very enamoured with that. I did ask his name before he put hands on the flesh. And then he said, what size would you like to be? I told him. He went, there's no way. And he told me about all the horrible things to do with the operation. And I mean, he was very honest about it. And I just thought, you know what? I think now's the time to just lose weight naturally, because that's not going to work. So what's Lisa telling us? Lisa is saying, start with something achievable that's not overwhelming. So can you add in, I don't know, Lisa, what's a reasonable amount of steps per day? Something like that, to add in a bit of exercise. And can you reduce, do like one day, don't have any biscuits if you have biscuits every day. But if you want us to join together, if you've got groups of people, I think if you do it together and you make a commitment. Yeah. For those of us who have wills, and I don't mean when I die, I'm leaving this to you. I mean a will as in your genetic blueprint. If you don't know what that is, then please PM us, because we'll tell you about that. It's an amazing system. It tells you about who you are. If you've got a will, then we will help each other, because we'll be determined once we've made a commitment. So for me,
the thing that's important, though, Carol, is
something in.
The other thing that's really important as well is that there are so often really deep underlying emotional issues that if you don't address them, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much will you use. There's a really good example of a weight reduction story. A woman who was determined to lose weight. She'd been overweight for quite a long time, and she had the most amazing outfits. She had a brilliant wardrobe. She always looked fantastic. She always had her hair done. Her makeup was always perfect. Her clothes looked amazing. And it seemed like she had different clothes on every single day. And when you went to her place, she had like a dressing room, but it was actually a bedroom. that was just for clothes and dressing. And what happened was, because she wasn't able to lose weight, starting to break down or to unravel the traumas, unravel the dramas, there's a thing called secondary gains. And secondary gains are very, very unconscious reasons for staying the same. So when you think you've got a problem, identifying any secondary gains are important. Her secondary gain was, it didn't occur to, because it was a colleague of mine, and it didn't occur to him that what might be going on until one day when she walked in, she commented on her outfit, and he said, "Yeah, you always look amazing." When you lose weight, you're going to have to replace your whole wardrobe. Or so, he didn't say it like that, but he made a comment about when she lost weight, will she enjoy? I think that's what he said. Will you enjoy going shopping for all the clothes that you're going to wear when you're a smaller size? And she was absolutely gobsmacked. She had a panic attack. She couldn't breathe. It was all this stuff was coming up. She couldn't possibly bear to lose the wardrobe that she'd spent years being really selective. So she looked fantastic. So even though she was overweight, she still looked brilliant. And the idea that she was going to lose that wardrobe was devastating. But she'd not realised it. Nobody had mentioned it. And they kind of came across it by accident. But for me, the reason that just really sticks in my mind, that woman had been trying really hard. She'd been doing work. She'd been doing emotional work and therapy, as well as Weight Watchers and stuff like that. She'd not lost any weight at all. If she'd lose a couple of pounds, she'd put them on. So she was constantly the same weight through all of this endeavour to lose weight until this fact emerged. And then they had to work on the trauma of, I've got to get a new wardrobe. Oh my God, I've got all these clothes that are amazing, that are gorgeous, that I feel amazing in. But I want to feel amazing in everything. So they had to do a transformation on this underlying need for her to enjoy this amazing wardrobe that she'd spent years building, and thousands of pounds as well, probably more. Making sure that you've got access to people who can help you to really dig deep. And that's one of the areas that I know with kinesiology now, that's the sort of thing that just pops up. Your body will tell us. You ask the body specific questions and it will tell us, but it'll also help us to get to the underlying issues that are there that we've got no conscious awareness of at all. So I think it's always important, if you're having a problem, by gaining a goal, setting your intention and actually achieving it. Anytime you're having a problem, you really do need to look deeper.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is to do, it's to do with lots of issues like that. We know somebody who, when they lose weight, they become rather attractive to the opposite sex. And that's a bit scary for them, because when that happens to them, particularly because they're married, that might mean that they might go off with somebody else. So there's a good, what do you call it, a secondary gain?
Yeah, secondary gain. Yeah.
So there could be all of these. Now, of course, you can't necessarily work out what these are on your own. So it's good to have somebody else to support you in that. Because honestly, the thing with ice cream came about because Marion did some work with me, and I realised that, when we went back with the kinesiology, talked to the body, it was all to do with the reward of ice cream, from my mum. And it wasn't anything, they were all very happy memories, actually. They weren't very negative memories, but there was the connection. You see, any addiction is a lack of connection. That's what any addiction is. Sex, drugs, or sausage rolls, I don't care what it is. If you're down that route, it's because you're not feeling the love from somewhere else. You have to do some work on that. But yeah, start to put in some small steps. In fact, I think Lisa's got a little bit.
Tell us how many steps.
Yeah, so inactive start with around 5,000 and build from there. Too many start with 10,000, and it can be hard for the first few days if you've never walked before. Yeah, I can imagine if I suddenly start having 10,000 steps in my life, I'll probably end up with, pains in my legs, etc. And then guess what? The mind goes, oh, you're better off not doing that, love. That hurts.
Don't do that. That hurts.
Yeah, don't do that. That hurts. And Lisa, thank you, Lisa. Is more than happy to give exercises and ideas to anybody in the group. I think that's really lovely, and thank you so much for that offer, Lisa. If anybody wants that, then please let us know. For me, the person who asked the question, I think they're saying, why can I not do it? Even though I know I need to do it. And for me, that sentence gives it away. Why can I not do it even though I need to do it? I think need also kind of implies that they have to do it rather than they're choosing to do it.
Yeah.
So again, it's all this awareness of the words you're saying out loud, the words you're saying to yourself, because the mind will try to keep you safe. It'll do what it thinks you want it to do. And so if it thinks you have to do something, feels like you're under bloody ransom. You know, someone's forcing you, manipulating you to do it. And so it's very, very, very important to be aware. I'd invite you, if you are on that in that stage where you want to try and reduce your dress size or your suit size, for the men that are on the call as well, that you start to become aware of when you eat and why you eat. What's the emotion that's going on when you head for the biscuit tin or the cup of tea or the can of lager or whatever it might be? And also start to just look at how much, you know, how much do I really exercise? Be really honest with yourself. And then is there anything that appears to have a pattern? Is there like an emotional trigger or something that's coming out there? Because once you start to become aware of it, start to look at it, then you can do something about it. Does that make sense? But as Matt said, that unfortunately there are some things that you won't be able to find on your own, but at least you can start to make a move in the right direction. Yeah, Lisa's just saying absolutely, it'll keep you more comfortable if you do the exercises, etc. So it's been brilliant. Wow, there's loads there. I didn't really know what we were going to talk about before we came online. But as usual, no problem talking here. Thank you to everybody who's joined us. Let me just see who's on the call at the moment. So Joanna Taylor, Claire Ellis, Matthew Nichols, Rebecca, Beatrice, Mildred, Jill, Teresa, Lisa, of course. Teresa's had to go, and Jill. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for giving us your time and your comments. If you're watching this as a recording, please add in your comments. If you disagree with us, tell us. If there's any other questions that you'd like to be answered. If you'd like any questions that you want to ask that you would like to be answered. I think tomorrow we might do why do I self-sabotage? What do you reckon?
Yes.
I'll answer Jill's question tomorrow. So thank you very much. A good evening. And remember to live, love, laugh every day, or even every evening. And it's goodbye from me. And it's
goodbye from her.
Thank you very much, guys. Bye. Bye, ladies. Bye. Bye. Bye.